Hello and welcome to Brews and Reviews, and this is our show 24 after 24, where we take a look back on the hit TV series 24, and it is this year 24 years since it first aired. This is episode 2. Last week we looked at the first episode of 24 season 1, and this week we're going to be looking at the episodes 2, 3 and 4. But first of all, we've got to do our brew review. What have you brought in this week, Ryan?
I have grabbed a Big Shed Brewing Hazy Pale.
Where's Big Shed?
So they're actually located in South Australia.
Hey, I've got a South Aussie beer too. I've got the Pirate Life Hazy XPA
These
for
are
extra pale ale.
yeah, these are 1 to 1.3 standard, so I am able to drive home safely.
I have 1.4. So if I slow my words more than you, that's why. Ready?
Here we
1,
go.
2, 3.
Oh, love a good
ASMR.
opening.
That's great.
Suck on that.
Have you had that one before? That you're
I have
drinking?
not. No.
I have had this a number of times. No, I know. Actually, I've never had it out of a can. The only time I've had this is
In a glass.
at a pub off tap, which is delicious. So all right, I picked this one, not because it's a beautiful green colour. It's because I'm going to Pirate Life tomorrow. There's a music festival.
Oh, is that on tomorrow? Is that the Millencolin?
Millencolin and Pennywise are headlining
Nice.
with a whole bunch of other bands.
See, I would have gone, but it is. Oh no, it's a Saturday night.
Mm.
I didn't realise.
Yes. No.
Well, I did pick mine for colour.
Did you really?
I was like, this is catching my eye. I like a good pastel colour.
There you go. Marketing team did well.
Yeah, I mean, it's the sticker.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's just a
It's not
sticker.
on the can.
No, it's probably a old Pepsi Max can.
It looks like it's that same black colour.
Yeah.
This is delicious. I love a XPA. It's a new thing for me.
Because I don't drink a lot of beer, and I never really go pale, but this is actually nice.
There's nothing against Cooper's Pale Ale. It's a good beer, but I think that's the only pale that most South Australians grow up on before they then venture out to
Yeah.
the smaller breweries.
If anyone hasn't worked out, we are from South Australia.
We are, yeah.
Born and bred.
Born and
Actually,
bred.
you're born here?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Yep.
Glenelg Community Hospital. For
Ooh,
those
I'm
playing
Ashford, not too far.
Yeah, there you go.
Just down the highway.
All right. So, out of 10, what would you give yours?
Give mine a solid 8.
I would also say 8.
And that's coming from someone who doesn't really drink pale.
Very nice.
It's not so like in my face.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with pale, but yeah. I think it's cause of Cooper's when I look at the bottle and you can see all the sediment in it. And it put me off.
Maybe that's why these are only available in cans.
And they're hazy anyway, so you shouldn't be able to see.
Yeah, but they are extra. Well, this one is like super light, extra pale ale.
Oh,
Yeah,
lovely.
but it's delicious.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a long time on beers. Last week we talked about a few things. One of the things I just wanted to follow up from last week, I looked it up. We talked about what came first, Shannon Knoll or Tony from 24.
Oh, yeah.
Shannon Knoll was 2003. So yeah,
that's definitely,
he's copied that from
24
Tony.
fan.
Yeah,
I reckon we get him on here.
I reckon he'd love it.
I reckon he'd be like, yeah, cop that from Tony.
I'm
Flavour
sure he's got
Saver.
nothing else on either at the moment.
Yeah. He's probably doing cameos. He might even buy a cameo.
Could be doing a comeback tour. Who knows?
Yeah. You looked up the iPhone as well, didn't you? Didn't we have something on the iPhone? Because I was like,
what are we talking about
was
with
it 2007?
It's 2000. Yeah, I did look it up, but I can't remember what the context was. What were we
I think it's
talking about?
because
because
they don't do anything. It's just like it's just
they don't
basically
have internet on their phones.
Yeah.
Although we'll get into it with this episode because they got some pretty
oh,
interesting technology
yeah.
at their palms
that's, yeah.
at the at CTU. So we also we should have done more research. We weren't sure at the time. It is definitely the presidential primary. It's the day of the primaries.
Yeah,
which is,
yeah.
We weren't sure.
So that's like electing.
It's
don't
the
even know.
nominee for the presidential candidate for whatever party. I don't think yet that they've taken a political side as to say which party that they're from, but each party, Republican or Democrats, will pick their candidate.
Yeah.
And the primaries are where that happens. I'm pretty sure from my limited understanding of American politics.
I wouldn't have a clue.
We need to phone a friend, someone like Derm.
Yeah.
He'd know what's going on there.
He'd be all over that.
All right. So obviously, episode 2 takes place between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m.
It does. Very early in the morning.
There's
And
a lot going
happens,
on. Yeah.
And you forget what time it is.
Yep.
And I always forget. And I'm like, there's so many people awake. And in the streets as well.
Oh, wait till we start talking about what's going on in the streets. All right. Can you give us a little bit of a overview? We'll try and keep it a little bit more succinct than last week. Last week, I think we did every beat by beat.
Oh, yeah.
Which is hard with this sort of thing. There's so much going on and so much chopping and changing between scenes that you sort of want to. But let's try and keep it a little bit more succinct.
Well, I'm going to struggle for starters because we did watch 3 episodes. And I've tried to watch them a couple of times. And I think I'll still struggle. I pulled it off last week and I was getting all the names, but I reckon I'll struggle a bit this week. So yeah, where are we starting? We're starting in what happened at the end of the last one?
That the plane. No, it was what's his daughter's name? Kim.
Yeah,
it was her in the van right at the end. Just before that, though, is when the bomb went off on the plane, and
they ran the red light. She knows she got kidnapped by that stage.
Yes,
rather than that's right, and they passed her mum.
Yeah, and the mum does not yet know that she's been
These
kidnapped.
2 dudes are the stupidest dudes I've ever seen. We'll get into that. So yeah, we start off episode 2. Where are we? I'm trying to think back because I watched 3 episodes last night and I'm struggling for the start. Nina covers for Jack. I've got written here.
No, we start in the Mojave Desert.
Do we?
Yeah. When she gets blown out of the plane and then she's landing in the desert, isn't that where we start? That's what
for some reason I've written Nina covers for Jack when Tony wants to know what happened with Mason. Tony doesn't believe Nina's story. Anyway, that's the lovers triangle right there. Then I've got Mandy naked while she burns her parachute.
Yeah, I don't know why she needed to do that. She's in the middle of the desert.
She gets naked a lot.
She does. Yeah.
Because she was full. I didn't realize she was naked until like halfway through, and I had to sit forward and be like,
no, I thought she was in underwear.
Yeah, but then I don't think she was.
Right.
I
think she's the eye candy of the show.
Oh yeah, her and her girlfriend.
Especially 2001, it was still very much about what can we put to get the younger male gays involved.
Oh, there's a male gay later on in one of the episodes. We'll get to that.
Yep.
So yeah, she's waiting to be picked up by. Well, we don't know his name yet, do we? But it ends up being his name's Gaines. So yes. He seems to be the plot, the main plot. He seems to be the creator of this and running the show. Yeah. But then again, no, he's taking phone calls from someone.
Yeah, he's got there's someone above him.
Yeah, so
it goes right to the top.
It goes internal. Internal CTU, I reckon. We'll get to that too, I'm sure. And then what we got I don't even know. I can't even tell. What have you got?
So I've got that she hides the ID. So she's sort of doing a bit of a double cross by the seams of it. She's hidden the ID somewhere, so she gets picked up by Gaines, and he takes her off to the cabin in the middle of nowhere. Meanwhile, someone's come on a motorbike and found where she's hidden the ID. The ID, if everyone remembers, is from the photographer, from Martin.
Yeah, Martin on the plane.
So there's
who they killed off, and I still don't know how they're going to get away with killing someone, but then using his ID.
It's in the episode.
Yeah, I see, they've got a second Martin, but, the plane went down with no survivors, so Martin should be dead.
Yeah, no, why?
Oh, actually.
There was something about him being erased from the...
from later on in part of the episode.
I think he was erased from the manifest because
there's an inconsistency.
It was a full flight or something like that, and there was a seat open, and they thought that was odd because it was full flight, and there was an empty first class seat, which they would have wanted to fill. So, yeah, I think they've erased him from the manifest, so it looks like he wasn't on that flight, and then he can still be Martin, the photographer.
Yeah,
which we'll get to.
After that bit, I've got He's going to blow your socks away because my note taking. I've got Alan finds a franger. So they obviously have gotten to the. So in the last episode, you see Rick and Dan run a red light past Alan and Terry.
Yeah.
So they've obviously now gotten to the furniture shop where the three people just, or whatever, Janet and Kim and all that came from.
Yeah.
And so they've gotten in, and Alan finds a franger.
So something's gone down. There's, there's
They're
alcohol
like, oh,
everywhere.
wow,
There's
great.
a big mess in the furniture store. And they spend what feels like far too long in that furniture store.
Oh,
They spent the whole hour.
and then what is it? They're there, and then they talk to Jack, don't they?
Of course, they
That's
talk to
yeah,
Jack.
yeah.
She talks to Jack 100 times in this episode.
Yeah, and then Jack forcibly tells him to stay there too.
Yeah.
He's like, I think you should stay there by the car, which I was like, fair enough, because it's like the car's just left there. Like, you got to come back for the car maybe if you're out sneaking around. But then Alan was like, "No, we shouldn't stay here."
Or maybe one of them stay and then one of them leave. But
I think the area is apparently pretty like
Jack. He certainly puts the foot down with his wife and says,
Yeah.
let me talk to him.
Yeah, put him on.
Put him on.
Jack, no, you don't have to. Put him on.
And then he listens to Jack because Jack.
Yeah, I still feel sus about this Alan bloke.
Yeah, everyone's sus in this show.
Well, we found his wife moved back to Australia, so she's back here where we are.
That's right. Yeah, she's not dead.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Why would you leave like your supposedly teenage daughter with like Alan? I mean, unless you're a crackhead or
It
something.
happens.
Yeah, I know it happens.
So
Usually it's the dad leaving.
we change scene from there. We go to actually meeting the source of the intel. So in the first episode, we hear that there's a source inside of CTU that gives the indication that there's going to be a hit on the presidential candidate.
Yeah.
And his name ends up being Scott.
Yes,
and,
Scott.
And Scott meets with what's the
Walsh.
Walsh. He's the
Yeah, he's
not. I don't know if he's the head of CTU, but he's up there.
You're gonna have to forgive me because last episode I kept calling him. Who's the other one? The one that Jack tranquilized.
Last week you were all good with the names.
Yeah, but I got
terrible.
it wrong, so I kept calling. I kept thinking Walsh was this other one. I forgot his name now. This is not good. Not going well. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, he meets with Walsh.
Yeah, and they talk about some more information, and the key thing that comes out is that there's a CTU ID
Or like a division swipe card.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not an ID, is it? It's just to be able to get in.
Yeah,
into
that's
different
right. 'Cause
areas.
he's like, what's this? It's just standard swipe card.
And he says, well, on that magnetic strip is a whole bunch of data that they've discovered, and that's what had the information about there being a hit on the presidential candidate.
Yeah, that's right.
And as they're talking this through in a dodgy warehouse location, some shots get fired from nowhere.
Yeah, just pop out of
I
nowhere.
know. Scott gets taken down. He's dead.
That threw me back to like how old it is. It like just the gunfire and like you can just tell they've used like I don't know. It's either a little bit of CGI or they've used like firecrackers or something.
Oh, like really big muzzle flash? Is
You just like when the bullets are like hitting near them, it's just like a little like spark.
Yeah.
And then your old mate got hit in the arm or something. Yeah, hit in the arm.
Walsh in the arm or the hand. No, in the arm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he straight away he's on the phone to Jack because he's the only one that he can trust.
That's right.
Jack, come and get me. So at the same time, we've got the man that he tranquilized. We're gonna have to find his name, otherwise it's gonna get awkward.
Yeah.
The man that he tranquilized. He's
Is that Martin?
He's yes.
No. Martin's the dude on the plane. Fuck.
He comes strolling into CTU. He's brought a group of people. Everything's getting locked down, so the phones are off.
Wait, no, they don't get locked down yet.
What?
No, they don't get locked down yet.
Yeah, because Jack sneaks out.
No, that's what that comes later.
Oh my god!
Because Jack
wreck.
comes back. Like he's got to talk to Nina yet about what goes on about her computer. So
I swear that was after the fact.
no, so I've got to hear. No, keep going.
Thank God for notes.
Richard calls Jack, gets him to come and help. But I've written a note here. While on the way, So Jack knows he's heard gunfire over the phone. He's like, Richard. Is his name Richard? Yeah, Richard Walsh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dick Walsh. He's like, Richard, because he hears gunfire. But then on the way, calls his wife. calm as.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I've got here, while on the way to a gunfight, Jack casually calls Terry, I've got something important to do. What's more important than our daughter, Jack? Oh, I'm just doing stuff.
Just working counter-terrorism. What do you think's more important?
Just trying to save a bloke's life.
Yeah.
And then I've got here, for some reason, secure line, no time.
Hilarious.
What was that bit? Didn't you said something about that? I can't remember it.
Yeah. So he rings Jamie.
No.
Is it Nina?
Nina.
Okay. He rings Nina and he says, is this a secure line? And she says, no, I can get one. He's like, no, there's no time. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
But that whole time,
why even bother asking if
there's no time. Line? I need a code to get into this building.
Yeah.
And then Tony reads that transcript. He pulls it up on the computer instantly.
Again,
and
they got some fairly cool technology.
But I'm still sus. I'm super sus of Tony.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then,
I don't know if it's just because he wants Nina and thinks Jack's going to take her away from him, but yeah, he's the one that ends up calling in the man whose name we can't remember.
We must look that up.
Yeah. Maybe we can edit it in post every time we say we can't remember. You see this overdub of his actual name.
Otherwise, we'll just have to have a pause, have a look, stitch it back in. So the other thing that I was like, he meets Richard on the roof, right? Gets into the building.
Yeah.
So he's going to walk through this whole building, or find the stairs, go all the way up to the top.
Didn't come across any of what ends up being 3.
It's all clear, yeah. And then Richard's pointing a gun at the back of his head. He's like, Jack! And he's got the gun pointed at the back of his head, and it's like, is he going to shoot him? Am I supposed to be sus of Richard now? Is this all fake? But then obviously it's not. So yeah, what have I got? Once they meet on the roof, it must skip back to Mandy, because I've got here Mandy sees the new Martin. She's got her titties out again.
Yes, she does, in the bathroom.
Yeah, and then
changed.
Then Martin's in the background perving on her, and then she's like, whoa.
And we should probably explain that is that someone has had plastic surgery, which is pretty incredible plastic surgery. Like that is.
It's almost like they've used the original actor.
No, must be plastic surgery. So he looks exactly like Martin does, and she's commenting on how much like Martin he looks. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So that's the plan the whole time, is that he's going to look like Martin. He's going to sneak in, obviously,
as a photographer.
As the photographer,
but he's like a sniper.
He's a good shot too.
Yeah, obviously takes good shots. No pun. I was going to say something. Oh yeah. Honestly though, you're trying to kill one bloke, and you've just transformed your whole entire face.
Yeah.
Who goes to the length of what is so special? What is so special about David Palmer though?
Oh, well, I don't know. Is it coming? You tell me.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. Honestly, I thought I'd be triggered by now. I have triggers. I'm like, I swear there used to be someone else in
little bits that you vaguely recall.
Different faces in CTU. I just remember someone else in CTU who was there for ages.
Right.
So I don't know. It could be maybe I came in at second season or something, and I've never seen this.
Ah,
I don't know.
Could have done, because I was thinking back, considering the content of it for 2001, we would have been. What do we figure out?
13, I think.
13-ish.
Yeah.
So, I suppose it's around the age that you'd start watching something like this, maybe.
Yeah.
But it would have been. I'm assuming it would have aired later at night as well in Australia. I can't remember. We digress.
I have a feeling it was about 9:30, or it might have been 8:30.
So anyway, it goes back to Jack and Richard in this building where Jack's trying to save Richard, and they get into a pretty good gunfight.
Yeah,
it's probably the best action that we've seen so far.
Well, this is the first bit of proper gunfires.
Yeah,
because the rest has just been planes blown up, and
yeah, this is proper
stupid criminals stealing girls.
Proper James Bond sort of thing going on here. So get into a gun battle with 3 guys. Manage to kill all 3?
Nah, Jack gets 2 kills.
2 kills.
Oh, maybe
does one get away?
Maybe I don't know if one gets away or if Richard kills one. I can't remember now. I was too focused on Jack got his first kill.
No, there's 2 in the building, and then
Yep.
yeah. So
they kill the 2.
they
in
get
the
the 2, and while they're in there, not only do they kill them, but Jack takes a thumb from one of them to
That's
ID
right.
later.
Richard's like, oh, how are we
Cuts
going to
his-
like work out who they are? He's like, hang on.
just
Whips out
casually
a pocket knife.
strolls over, cuts a thumb off, as you do.
And this is like, remember, we don't hear any swearing in this show. Yet we're witnessing dude pull a knife out and cut a thumb off. And then he's holding a bloody finger. Well, thumb. Sorry, thumb. I don't get it.
So then after that, they try to escape the building. And as they're getting back to the car, more shots fired. And this time, Richard is hit from a sniper. So Richard is down. He's not looking good. And he's trying to tell Jack. He looks like he could still maybe get through it, but he's trying to tell Jack.
Jack's telling him, don't move, don't move.
Yeah.
And then Richard's just like, you have to, Jack. You got to do this. Take the card. And then,
So
that was the end of it.
jumps up to give the card to Jack, gets shot again. Definitely dead this time.
Yeah, he's
And
gone.
Jack has to get out of there.
We must, there must have been a bit in between. I've got a bit here. It says, Tony and Nina. It must be Tony and Nina. And Tony says to Nina, you can boss me all you want when we're at work, but when we punch out, we are something else. And I just had to write that down. I was just like,
He wears the pants at home.
oh, the flavor saver.
Because she pulls the
ring.
seniority card on him,
Yeah.
and he relinquishes. But
Yeah.
but when they get home, she's no longer in charge.
And then there must have been another comment from Jack and Richard where Jack owes Richard his life.
Yes.
Jack commented that, don't be stupid. I owe you my life.
Yeah. So something's happened in previous years.
Yeah, which we probably would never find out because he's dead now.
So there's another. So then we cut to a scene of David Palmer still in his hotel room. He's
He hasn't left yet?
no.
No.
And this time we're introduced to his 2 kids. He's got a boy and a girl.
Oh, yeah, Keith. And I forgot what the girl's name 'cause she's only in it for a split second.
Yeah, I reckon I've got her name somewhere. But
Don't they come from like some sort of rally or something?
They're at a rally.
And Green Day play?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. He's like, did he get up on stage or something?
No, and this is the funny bit is as he's telling his dad this awesome story about how good the rally was, and mid-story, David Palmer just walks away.
Does he? I didn't even catch that.
And his son's still talking, and because his son sort of turned as he went to walk away, and he's just gone. And it was exactly the same as the scene from the first episode where he just slowly
shuts the door.
He just walked away from his son mid-sentence.
I don't want to talk to you, son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next thing is we're back with the girls again, and this time,
oh man, which one?
the
we back
Kim
with Kim?
and Janet,
Yeah.
and I think they are trying to I think Kim is trying to say that she won't call her mum and tell her that everything's okay, which is what they're trying to get her to do, and just say that she's at the party. And because she's not doing that, they one of the guys grabs a crowbar and cracks Janet's arm, breaks her arm.
Yeah.
And
Janet's half Aussie.
So then
that's right.
Then Kim proceeds to call her mum and say, "I'm at a party, I'm fine."
Yeah. So about that phone call, she's in tears, right?
Yeah, she sounds
Did you not
distraught.
pick that up on the other end of the line?
Oh, you can hear it come through.
Oh yeah, you sound like you're having fun. But then the thing that I think is supposed to be mum, I'm in trouble.
Was that "I love you, mum"?
Yeah.
Because she's a teenage girl. She never said that.
She had her mum kick dad out the house.
Yeah,
That's because dad was sleeping with Nina.
Which Terry picks up on. She knows that that's not normal.
Yeah. Because they're at the furniture store still, aren't they?
So to cap episode 1 off, where at the end it's revealed that the card what's her name?
Nina.
Nah, Jamie. The IT wizard. She's able to crack into the card and figure out whose computer
Jack could do
encrypted that
remotely,
card.
Though. His car is
that's right.
So yeah, that's right. He's driving along and he's called Jamie and he's like, "I've got this card. I'm going to bring it to you. I need to get." She's like, Just put it on your...
Just scan it.
Yeah. He's like, what?
Change it to magnetic reader or something like that and scan it.
Oh, and fun fact. So he does this, and then there's a satellite comes over, like a footage of a satellite.
Yeah.
They've taken that from Enemy of the States.
What, the same footage?
Yeah. I even went back and looked at it.
Did you really?
Yeah. I pulled up the YouTube clip of it, and then I pulled up the...
And it's the same scene?
Exact same. They borrowed it.
How does the... Can we put that on the video? Can we,
Yeah, we might be able to.
Can we get rights
surely
to put a side by
put a
side?
snippet in.
Surely. All right. If we can, we'll show it. If not, just believe Ryan.
Can I just say, like, what the day we're at now? What day is it? We're 28th February,
Yeah.
and it's weird. It freaked me out because I watched this last night, and we found out Gene Hackman died yesterday,
Oh, yeah.
and he's in Enemy of the State. So I was like, whoa! I was all freaked out. But that,
meant to be.
yeah,
Him and his wife and his dog.
yeah.
That's a strange story.
I didn't realize how old he was.
Yeah, I saw a photo of him, like
And I
a
was like,
recent one,
is
and
that-
I mean, did I see that he was born in the 30s?
Well, Gene Hackman in Enemy of the State, 1998.
Looks old.
He's old. So I was just like, oh, is that him?
I wonder what happened. Well, I'm sure we'll hear about it soon. That stuff never stays
I'm
quiet.
thinking CO2 poisoning, to be honest. Because, it's a silent killer. And the dog died, she died. But then I don't know.
Surely, I've got a CO2 reader in my house.
Must be nice. Must be nice being rich.
I'm not dying from CO2 poisoning. Surely Gene Hackman had one.
I've just got a budgie.
Canary.
Yeah, canary, that's the one. Anyway.
So that's episode 1. I feel like we're still we're going into a lot of detail.
Yeah.
The beat by beat.
We don't have our timer up, do we?
No, I'm gonna superimpose it, but
yeah,
it just means that we're not aware of what time it is.
So we said at the end of the episode, we found out it came from Nina's computer, all this data.
Yes. So
leak.
now Jack is suspecting Nina is the one who is the mole inside of CTU.
Yeah. And I got the satellite thing wrong. That's the start of episode 3.
Is it?
Yeah, with the thumb.
Jumping ahead.
So he uses the same car computer
Oh, to scan the thumb.
scan the thumb. So obviously he switches it to
right.
thumb. Who has a thumb scanner in the car?
No, because he sends that off to someone else, not to Jamie.
Yeah, and that's hello. That's when the satellite thing comes on. I mean,
Right.
same thing.
All right, we've only jumped forward just a fraction here.
Yeah, it's all right.
So thoughts on episode 2?
I was excited because there was a bit more action.
Yeah.
Like, I guess episode 1 and 2, episode 1, 2, and 3 and stuff should be all action packed because, the pilot, the last episode.
That's what's supposed to hook you. That's what, you get excited for a
I think
new
I
TV
read
show.
after the 3rd episode, it got picked up.
Ah.
I think I read that somewhere while I was trying to find info.
I think I saw like a poster or something that said there were, I think, 4 episodes released over 2 days for the premiere.
Maybe it was 4 then.
So I think it was like 4 hours of 24 in 2 days.
Yeah. Another fun fact. You know how Jack comes over on the start and he's like, this is filmed in real time.
Oh, yeah.
So that drops, I think, after the 3rd or 4th episode. He doesn't say it anymore.
Ah.
Yeah. So you'll notice that now you're watching. I've told you.
That is, I don't know if that's a fun fact, but it's certainly a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had other facts. Like, apparently there's in, like, shots, camera people are in the way. And you can see them,
just
like, ducking behind a chair and
The
stuff.
general mistakes.
I like to look that sort of shit up.
Yeah.
And then I tried to find one. I couldn't. And I didn't want to spend too much time on it. So just...
Or when we're trying to binge 3 episodes. I don't know. 3 was a lot to... Not to fit in, but trying to remember the differences between the 3 and not get caught up.
You could probably tell by the quality of this recap.
Yeah.
Like the first episode, like we managed to recap
we did
that.
it for an hour. And now we're trying to fit 3 episodes into the same amount of time. We'll see if the format continues. I think just so that we don't take forever to get through the first season, we'll aim for 3. It might not be great, but we'll try.
Oh, so Jack scanned the thumb. It's gone to a random bloke. Must be in division. Yeah, it's division because he calls up. He's like, I need this. Should we just... I reckon sort of skip ahead because he gets the thumbprint info back later on in the episode. Comes back with nothing.
Yeah.
So, in a way, it's shit. But
it's sort of like they're completely off the record. They're going to be some sort of secret agent, some spy somewhere.
They could possibly they've got to be in CTU or the division or something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or do
CIA
they talk about other
CIA?
And FBI and stuff?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jack, when is it this episode he catches up with the cop?
Yeah.
So he identifies himself as a federal agent.
Yeah, but then she's never heard of CTU before.
Yeah. What the fuck is CTU?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they don't say that because they're not swearing the show.
Yeah, no, she doesn't. Oh, actually, they do say arsehole later on. Jack speaks Spanish too.
Great pickup.
Anyway.
No, that wasn't him. That was her.
No, Jack speaks Spanish. You know what? We're going to jump ahead in a sec. That
when they're in the hallway.
Nah, when they're hostage situation.
Oh.
And he speaks Spanish to her, saying, "When I drop the gun, jump out of the way."
Right.
And then because he spoke Spanish, this dude's like, "Speak English, asshole." And then anyway.
Trust you to pick that one up.
So Jack now he surfs, he speaks Spanish.
He's one cool dude.
Yeah.
The start of episode 3. So we moved ahead a bit, but it's from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And one of the first scenes is Janet's got the broken arm in the car with the kidnappers.
Yeah.
And she's screaming in pain, and Kim's like, help her. So what does one of the kidnappers do? What do you do when you're in pain? Just cook up a bit of heroin and
shoot up some
inject
heroin.
that into her.
I find it funny. So in this fucking shady-ass van, he's got joints in the glove box. He's got heroin under the seat. And then later on in this episode, he pulls out a handgun.
Yeah.
It's just you would not want to be pulled over in that. It's Jesus. So, yeah, anyway. And then she's instantly relieved.
Yeah.
She's in this is so good. Which you would be, I'm assuming. I've never done it, so.
No? Haven't had a broken arm?
Actually, I've never had a... I broke a toe. I broke a toe.
How did you do that?
You know how we got kids?
Yeah.
And you yell, stop running in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were running in the house.
I was running in the house
when you were a kid?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were chasing your children or something.
That brings up a funny story, by the way. Not the broken toe, but I did it to my kids once. Stop running the house. And I was wearing socks and I ran in our house. This is a year ago. And I stacked it. And I actually landed. And then what am I, 36? So I was probably 35 or 34. And I was like, I'm not getting back up for a bit. I was lying on the floor.
The older you get, the longer it takes.
And my wife just stood there, or sat there and laughed, and then turned to the kids. See, kids, this is why you don't run inside.
It's a good example.
Really?
You did it for their benefit.
Did it stop them? No.
No.
But yeah. Anyway, so we've got. What do we got? I got Rick and Dana at the airport waiting already. So they've made their way to the airport, and we're at 2 to 3, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah. So they've made their way to the airport. This is what I don't get. It's been I don't know, I think it's 10 minutes or so have passed. And then Kim's they're in the car. And she's like, Janet, wake up.
Yeah.
We've been kidnapped. What do you mean? She's like, I don't remember anything. We were dancing.
She's like, they broke your arm. She's like, no, they haven't.
Yeah, she's like, look. Oh, my God. But, she snaps out of that heroin, dose. There's no tomorrow. She's, fully alert now.
Yeah. She's like, can you run?
Yeah. She's like, we got to run. And they're at an airport. I never understand these American shows, they just can drive onto an airport.
Oh, these airfields.
Yeah.
I think it's a private airfield. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway. And they make this run for it, right? And, you see the little plane coming?
I didn't understand that.
Neither did I. I would have thought, let's run and then let the plane cut them off.
Yeah, we'll get in front of the plane. The plane will then go past us, and then the guys can't get to them because the plane's
stop
there.
And wait for this plane to
go
past.
It was like they're playing chicken with the plane. It was really
weird. They just
weird.
run, and then next thing I know, they're under the plane, lying on the floor, oh shit, there's a plane. Do you not look for this? Obviously, your parents didn't teach you to look left, look right.
Even the way it was filmed sort of set it up that this plane was going to be the thing that gets in the way and lets them get away.
They set up. I'm like, oh, here we go. They're just going to use the plane to their advantage because when I say let's run. Anyway, I'm having a drink break because I'm getting dry.
So next we're back at David Palmer, and
Is this where does he leave?
Yeah, so he I can't remember if he talks to his wife about it first, or if he talks to his mate about trying to stop the reporter from releasing any information. But it comes out at some point, whatever happens, it comes out that the reporter, what she was trying to, I don't know if she was bribing him or just giving me a heads up that they're going to release this story of apparently his daughter, David Palmer's daughter, was raped.
Yeah.
And at some point after that happened, the accused rapist died by
got thrown out a window, I reckon.
I think the report was that he jumped out of the window, presumably from guilt or not to get caught or something like that.
Yeah.
But the reporter is indicating that David Palmer's son threw him out the window.
That's right.
And killed him. So
yeah.
And then the implication is that David Palmer did something to cover it up or something like that.
Yeah. So David left the house without or wherever he's. I don't know where he is, but it seems like a hotel. Yeah. But anyway, he manages to leave. He does the whole. He's walking to the car, just puts like a finger in front of his eye, like they're not going to recognize me. Then you hear them in the back. Oh my god, was that David Palmer? And then anyway, so he's gone for a drive, and he's gone to like what seems the shadiest part of town to meet.
This is what I was going
to
to talk about later. Like every time that someone goes out into public in this place, it is the dodgiest.
Yeah.
Like, it's LA, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been to LA. There's definitely dodgy areas.
There's going to be dodgy areas everywhere.
This place seems like post-apocalyptic at some points.
It seems like, I don't know, he's in looks like a rich hotel.
Yeah.
And then he's only, because it's real time, he hasn't driven far.
He's gone 2 minutes down the road.
Yeah. And he's in some underground car park. There's two blokes smashing all the car windows. This is my favourite part. And they find David Palmer. He's like, they don't realise it's him at first, do they? And then he's like, I want $100, like for a parking fee. Yeah. And then David Palmer's like, says something. Dude tries to hit him with a baseball bat. David Palmer catches it with his bare hands. Not even like
doesn't
blocks catch. He doesn't move. He catches this thing. And
the guy can't even take it away from him.
Yeah. And they're shook.
Yeah.
They're like, whoa. And then the like little chubby one's like, oh my God, are you David Palmer? And he's like, no, I'm not. And then
he gives them the lecture about.
Yeah. Because he's like, what are you going to do for me? And he's like, see, that's the problem with all you lot. You want everything done for you when you got to do it yourself. And then, I don't know, he just says something like, I've been where you've been. You wouldn't understand. And then they just walk off, smash his window.
Yeah, I was going to say, they do smash his back window.
Yeah.
So they still get to break something.
Yeah.
And then he's a bit sore after that. Once they walk away, then he's like, my hand.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's when he talks to Carl because he wants Carl to... I don't know who Carl is, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet.
But he wants Carl to find out where this information and shit's coming from.
Yeah.
And Carl's like, I'll get it to you within the hour. Or like in an hour. So we know that we wouldn't find out this episode.
Oh, see, I forgot to pick up on those things.
Yeah, you got to pick up on those things.
Yeah.
Oh, and like the wardrobe changes. Jack's had a wardrobe change. He changes his shirt.
Right. Is that because there's blood on it? From
in this episode. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
that's allowable.
Yeah. It's when Jack sneaks back into CTU because he's found out it's Nina's computer.
Yeah.
So he sneaks back into CTU, gives the key card to Jamie, chat to Jamie, and is like, I need you to check her computer. And then she's like, all right, I'm going to need a couple of minutes. And then so he then goes to walk upstairs because Nina spots him and he's like, oh, hey, pretending like, yeah, I just got back. And then because he told her to meet her in his office. And then Tony walks past. He's like, did you cut yourself? Because he's got blood on his arm, obviously from when he's cut his finger off, I reckon. Either or it's from Walsh.
Yeah.
And then, do you notice him rubbing all the blood on the balustrade as he's walking up the stairs? I could not. I was like, are you serious right now? Like, there's blood and he's like, the little handrail, he's just rubbing his arm on it to get the blood off.
For the next person walking up and grabbing on for support.
But yeah, he ends up changing his shirt. So he's changed his shirt in this show.
See, I don't have any spare clothes in this office.
I think I read somewhere too, or I heard somewhere, I can't remember, but So Nina was only cast like really late.
Right.
Not as in like the character, but the actor.
Ah.
And she was apparently, she's wearing clothes that she was just wearing. And so she had to wear them the whole show.
Like she rocked up.
Yeah, so
and there was no time
she
to
didn't have
actually get
she didn't have
wardrobe
a
done.
wardrobe. So she was just wearing her own clothes. I read, or I don't know, I heard it somewhere. I read, but yeah, I thought that was interesting.
For the whole.
Oh, and they
whole
get
series.
haircuts every 3 days.
Oh, they'd have to.
Yeah, because you got to try and keep it looking.
Yeah.
Because I think
Continuity is key.
I think hair changes a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Nina is in Jack's office. They're chatting away.
Pretending that he's.
Yeah, this is the other thing. So you can see Jamie down at her computer, like through the. Jack just flat out just staring at her.
I know.
And like talking to Nina, and then.
And Nina, or the way that she's sort of standing, it looks like she could maybe see what he's looking at and just sort of like turn slightly and see Jamie down there, like giving him the look.
Yeah, yeah. But so, yeah. And then Nina's like, oh, all right, I'm done. I forgot they were talking about. I think they were talking about the manifest or something.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it was like, you got anything else? And she's like, nope. Okay. And he's like, actually, I do. And then they start talking about Tony or something. Like, oh, are you sleeping with Tony? So I'm like, oh, here we go. It's the lover's triangle again. He obviously didn't want to talk about it. He needed another couple of minutes to Jamie to hack the computer. So she finally hacks the computer and confirms that it did come from Nina's computer. Mm-hmm. So now we're all thinking, Nina's a mole.
I don't know. I was always. I never thought it was her.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But that's what they wanted us to believe.
They'll try and. I still think Tony's a douche, so I reckon
Yeah.
he's just too sus. He's always sitting at his computer and just like side eyeing, like just full like. Hey. I was like,
has he got nothing better to do?
No one ever see him though. Like, what are you looking at, mate?
That's the one thing about CTU is a lot goes on at any given time, and no one seems to notice. Like no one around. Like when in episode 1, when I think we talked about it, when he goes to get the tranquilizer, so it's like no one's watching him go over to the storage cabinet where the tranquilizer lives.
Yeah.
And then when Jack sneaks back in and sitting next to Jamie, like no one's like, I wonder what Jack's doing over there with Jamie.
Oh, in the tranquilizer cabinet. Fuck, you know. So then I think we go back to the dumbest criminals in town. And I've got it written here.
I think they're supposed to be as well, though. Like.
And I got them mixed up last week as well. I thought Dan was.
I thought you
Janet.
did so well last week.
Oh, so did I.
And I didn't know, so you could have just.
Sorry to all
kept
viewers out there, the die-hard fans.
The ones like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah, these guys are cooked. I'm not listening to this. You finish your beer.
Nearly. Oh. I did bring. I've got some more in there. If you finish yours, you can have one of mine.
Sounds good. I've got here. Kim and Janet run into a bloke giving a blowy to another bloke.
Yes, they do.
Just like,
yeah.
And then
he's trying to.
The dude gives up in the end. He's like, "Fuck, can you guys go away?"
Yeah. So he was in a suit. He was a. He's gone down to downtown to get away.
Yeah, filthy. That's right. And then they sort of run past this, like, I don't know. He's like, he must be like a crackhead or something because
he's living. He's living
cost
rough.
me $50.
Yeah,
$50 for a blowy. Jesus, it's a bit steep.
And he vouches. Well, not vouches for him, but the two kidnappers, they come past and say, "Have you seen these girls?" And he says,
he steers them in the wrong
that
direction.
way.
Yeah, but then he tells the girls, "Oh no, that's right." He robs them.
Yeah,
so he takes all their shit.
Takes their jewelry.
For some reason, they've still got money on him.
Yeah,
it's like, okay. I mean, I guess Dan and Rick aren't there for the money.
They're not there for the cash.
But yeah, yeah. So that's that bit. But then I guess we could just talk about that whole section.
I think so
because
they end up following him back into where he's hanging out. His little.
He's got a little it's
pretty cool actually.
Yeah, he's got photos of women in there and everything.
Yeah. He's living rough, but he's got like a little shelter area, so they follow him in there, and he does not want him in there. Tells him to get out.
Yeah, get out.
Yeah, but
all they want is a phone.
They want to make a phone call.
Yeah,
so they manage to escape again.
Yeah, because Dan and Rick come back into this little warehouse thing.
Yeah,
and then they sneak out of that again. Then there's just this random bloke
Yeah, who's that guy?
by a car. I don't know. He's just like a pimp or something.
That's exactly what I
got-
don't know
I
if
got
it was
pimp
the,
vibe.
I don't know if it was the car or what.
Yeah,
That gave me that
like an
vibe,
old
but-
Oldsmobile or
Yeah.
something. And they're just like, "Can we need a phone? We need to call the cops. Like, these two guys are kidnapping us."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, like this?" And he pulls out a phone, and he's like, Kim's like, "Oh, I'll pay you whatever you want. Like, we just need a phone." He's like,
Show me the cash.
"Show me the cash." It's like, "Oh, well, I don't. My parents will pay you when we get picked up." And then anyway, I thought like that could have probably turned into like, he might have come around.
Yeah.
But then old mate, crackhead homeless bloke, just comes in this 2x4, cracks him in the back of the head.
Gets the phone, gives it
He's
to
like-
the girls.
And he gives the whole, "Run!
Yeah.
Just run!"
But then at the same time, we've got the two kidnappers coming back.
Yeah, and they're freaking out. They're like, "Whoa, man, we don't want any trouble."
Yeah.
And then they bypass. So old mate, I don't know, he must die, I reckon.
Yeah.
By that pimp, that homeless bloke. But so Dan and Rick run straight past him, and they're like right on the heels of Kim and Janet, who's on the phone to the police.
Oh, yeah.
So she does manage
She
to
gets
call police.
through,
And
yeah.
That's right. They're hiding. They're like, "Oh, we're behind some auto body place."
That's right.
And then, they run for it again. And
Oh, no, they don't call it.
they call
they call her
mum.
mum.
They call mum.
And mum calls the police.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they tell them where,
I knew they called
roughly
someone.
where they are.
This is the other thing. You must have to have a very good memory of phone numbers back in the day.
Oh, you did though, because you had to.
Yeah, I know. Because it was like, I mean, I can still remember my mum's
Yeah,
original
that's-
phone number.
No, I can
House
remember my
number.
old landline,
Yeah.
and I still I know Laura's my wife's number. I know.
Yeah, I know my wife's.
Yeah. So you had to back then.
Yeah.
These days, no.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're back on the run. Bang, Janet gets hit by a car.
Yeah.
So she's got a broken arm and broken whatever else.
Yeah, she's not in a good way.
Yeah. And this dude just does hit and run. He's like, "Fuck that, I'm out of here."
Yeah. Again, this whole area is just
You remember, this is 2 to 3 a.m. So
true.
who's driving around like
There's quite a few people roaming around at
dude
this
getting
time.
a blow?
apparently.
Like, it must be a Friday. It's got to be a Friday or a Saturday. It's got to be a weekend.
So yeah, she gets hit by the car, and the I keep forgetting their names. The kidnappers, they catch up,
Dan and Rick.
and they grab Kim, and they leave Janet for dead.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're assuming she's gone. So that's it's the end of the episode there, isn't it? That's how it. Yeah, that's the end of the episode.
Well, that's like Janet wakes up again.
Yeah, it sort of shows that no, she did survive, and you're like, oh yeah, now they're gonna.
But yeah,
just gonna be able to tell people where they are.
we've glossed over because we just went with the Janet and Kim storyline.
Mm.
But we've also got Mandy and her girlfriend, Mandy's girlfriend comes in. They're like, "Where's the card?"
Oh yeah,
And she's like, "Nah, another $1 million."
that's right.
It's like, $1 million for you, $1 million for me. How good would that be?
Double what they agreed upon.
And yeah, so Mandy, I think, actually must have gone and talked to Gaines because she's like, "All right, I'll set this up. We'll get the extra money."
Yeah,
And she's like, "I'll do this on my own." And then they take her out. They go out into this field or whatever where they've buried the card, get the card, and then bang, she's dead. Martin shot her.
yeah, shot the girlfriend.
Yeah.
And you can tell Mandy gave him the go ahead.
Yeah. So, but she's still sad because that was her lover.
He was her girlfriend.
Yeah.
They were supposed to run away together.
But
Because he says to her, "So you're still in for the next job?"
Yeah.
She's like,
We
yeah.
got a job in summer. You're in?
Yeah.
And she just holds back tears. She's like, "Yeah." Oh, and Jack confronts Nina, by the way.
Yeah, we talked about. Oh no, we didn't talk about that.
No, not the actual confrontation.
Did we also resolve it as well, or is that in the next episode?
Yeah. So
it turns out that that happened to be when the card got encoded on her computer.
Yeah.
It happened to be on a lovers' weekend
Santa
away or something
Barbara.
like that.
Yeah.
When they were a thing.
This was
before
only a
Jack
couple of
got
months ago, apparently.
Was it really?
I think that's what they said.
Oof. Jack's wife's good to take him back.
Yeah. Oh, and then Jack gets really angry with it. It's like, "Who are you working for?" And he says it like 3 times. He's like, "I'm working for you, Jack." And then, yeah, after they find out Nina is in the clear, those 3, Jamie, Nina, and Jack, become like a secret duo thing.
I'm secretly worried that that Jamie's going to be involved somehow.
I don't know, because Walsh, that's because she said,
Oh, that's
do you
right.
trust Jamie? He's like, well, Walsh trusted her,
Yeah.
but I trust you. That's what Jack said to Nina.
Mm.
So now they're working together.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, so that was the end of that episode pretty much. That wasn't a bad episode. I liked it.
Yeah,
A fair bit happened.
We'll rank the 4 that we've watched at the end of this, but it was okay. There was a lot of I think like filling in the gaps and setting things up for the next couple of episodes.
Yeah,
it was sort of a filler.
Well, you're
get
gonna
some
get
background
those. We're
going.
gonna get those, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I feel like, do we see Gaines? We don't see Gaines at the end of that shot with Kim. That must be in part of the next episode. Because like at this point, I'm like this stupid Kim storyline.
Yeah.
Just because she's not doing a teenage thing, gets kidnapped. I mean, we know that she's. I suppose we already knew that because he was on the phone to Gaines a few times. What Rick or Dan, whichever one it was.
Yeah.
So I guess I just forgot that. But
All right.
I was like, this is such a boring storyline. Like, go back to Jack.
Yeah, I get why it has that story. Like, it's just another storyline that needs to run, but it is the lesser of the interesting storylines that are
Side quest.
Yeah, I mean, even David Palmer's is at the moment a little bit boring. I think until he gets more involved.
Well, I mean, we're gonna see the what's it called, the primary start.
Yeah,
because like, well, I mean, we're in darkness at the moment in actual.
Yeah.
So it's going to get daylight hours and a lot's going to happen because people are going to start waking up and I reckon there's going to be a fair bit of shit go down within the 24 hours. That's for sure.
All right, we'll take a quick drinks break and then start episode 4.
Ugh, love a good opening.
Transition, and we're back.
Welcome. All right, so we're on 0300 to 0400.
Episode 4.
Yeah, that trips me out because they should have just started it. Oh, no, they just started at 12.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, you're going up to whatever number episode it is.
Yeah. So we start the opening scene with Janet lying in the middle of the road. Have you seen that meme going around at the moment where they're using, is it Linkin Park music?
I don't know.
Oh, there's one that's going, and like, a lot of the movies do the whole like someone's dead, but then like right at the last second before the camera cuts away to the credits,
they move or something.
They move.
Yeah.
So she did that in the last episode. So we're straight back with Janet.
This is my favorite part of the whole episode.
I'll let you go. You go. You love it.
No, she's lying in the middle of the road, like barely hanging on to life, and a car comes past and she's sort of reaching out to say, help me. And it swerves around her and all you hear is, what are you, an idiot?
What are you doing in the middle of the street? Yeah, but then also a drunk bloke comes past. So there's so many people out and about at this time of day, and obviously they're all crackheads and drink drivers by the sounds of it.
Yeah. Hilarious stuff.
Yeah. So that's that. So Jack updates Nina and Walsh on that there's an insider. That's what I've got here. So now the three are working together, which we covered in the last one. I got David Palmer's getting antsy with Carl. So I think in the last episode it'd been like 10 minutes. No, not even half an hour.
That's right.
He's like, have you got anything? He's like, it hasn't even been half an hour. I'll get it to you before like 4 o'clock or whatever. Before 4 o'clock. I think he says. So we're like, okay, we're going to find out.
Yeah.
So which we do. Did you pick that up in the episode?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so they've managed. So that we forgot to cover that I think is it the FBI? No, Secret Service found David Palmer because he's like, Carl, you better get out of here. Yeah. And so they picked him up, and then so they debrief David Palmer saying, so there's been an attempt on your life, and he's like, that's normal. I usually get one every morning with my orange juice or something like that. And he's like, no, this is different. And it's like from overseas.
And I love and then as soon as I say that, he's like, takes it very seriously.
Because he tries to get information. He's like, well, have you got any information on it? And he's like, no, except for he's coming from overseas. And he's like, whoa.
Yeah, instantly changes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the David Palmer section. I've got Jamie and Nina get Oh, they get the address off the key card for Jack. So where Jack ends up going.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So that's
the only bit of intel that they're able to pull up.
That's right.
Because it's all encrypted and she's getting little bits and pieces.
So they've got this address, and then I like it because she's like, that's all I've got so far. And then Jack's like, all right, let's peel a little bit more away. And he's trying to like act like he knows how the computer's working, but he couldn't even get like a thumbprint thing, a car thing to work. So anyway, he gets this address and he's like, I'm going to go check it out myself. And then my favorite bit comes up for this episode is, we never got George Mason.
Yeah.
There we go. I got it. That's the guy.
That's why you were saying Martin.
Yeah, George Mason. Glad I covered that. We should have took that up in the break. Anyway, he comes in because Tony's called in you need to come. He calls a division.
Yeah.
And he's like, you need to get here. Tony needs to be relieved. Jack needs to be relieved of his position.
Yeah.
And so my favourite bit, Jack escapes. But how does he escape? He drop shot nut punches this dude in the straight in the dick. I'm pretty sure it was in the dick. It's got to be. But he's like, drop my keys. Smack. Straight in the dick. Bypassed. And then this guy's like, Jack got past me.
But I love that it was a full lockdown. So like phones go off, doors are locked.
Yeah,
they can use some of their computers.
Yeah.
But then Jack gets out so easily.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is Jack Bauer.
He wanted to go to the car to get some files out. But so yeah. Anyway, Jack's escaped. He's on his way to what's it called? This address where he has no idea what he's running into there. What have I got here? I got Terry and Alan get pulled over.
That's right.
So it switches to Terry and Alan.
Yeah, because they're racing to try and find the girls. They've made the 911 call, so they've rung the police. But at the same time, they're heading over to the location that Kim gave them when she called them earlier.
Yeah.
And I get like Janet's dad. He's stressed. He wants to get his daughter. Yeah. But my God, like he just stupid move.
What annoys me is like the cop's like, do you know what you're doing? Like he's like, yeah, I was speeding. He's like, our daughters are like missing.
Yeah.
Would you not turn around and say,
kidnapped.
Our daughter's been kidnapped?
Yeah.
Like hurry the fuck up. Our daughter's been kidnapped. And then this cop's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, yeah, it must be a Friday night. Oh no, it's a school night. We heard that in the first.
But also, he's like, yeah, okay, I'll go and check that you've placed that 911 call.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, like rather than wait the two, like surely he knows.
Yeah.
Like, if you do a runner, you're gonna get chased and you're gonna get stopped by this cop.
Yeah.
And so the cops walked over to go and do the check, and he's like, no, I'm not. I need to go, and goes to take off,
and then he arrests him,
and then gets taken down. Yeah.
So while this is happening, Dan and Rick are in there. They're driving because they've captured Kim, so they must be driving back to the plane. And Kim's like, by the way, I hate her crying. Like she's like, and it's like, oh, just shut up. Anyway, she's whinging because she's like, we got to go back for Janet. You can't just leave her there. And then Dan's like, you're right, we can't. What if she IDs us? So they're going back in the opposite direction. And they drive straight past the cops. We're back again past Janet's dad and Kim's mum.
Can't catch a break.
And I'm just like, and the car that they're in is like, it's got light up neon number plates.
Yeah, it's not very inconspicuous.
Yeah, it's just like, just slowly roll past. I was like, far out. So, I mean, Kim's duct taped. Because that's right, they duct tape. Did you hear that bit? And then he's like, tie her up. And then there's all this commotion. And he's like, what, is she tying you up? Another little classic that got me. Another giggle. So, yeah. And then I've got... Oh, Jack tries to call Terry while she's in the car. But she gets out just as the phone rings.
Yeah.
And, like, apparently doesn't hear it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised she wasn't like, I'm going to quickly call Jack. He can sort this shit out really quick.
Well, that's a good... I didn't think of that. That's a great point.
Like, I mean, she calls him every 10 minutes as it is.
Yeah.
I mean, literally every 10 minutes. So, anyway, so she doesn't hear the phone. And then, so Jack's arrived at this address. He gets into a gunfight pretty much straight away. and a cop hears it. The cop just happens to be driving past with her window down.
Yep.
And she's like, holy shit. Calls it in. And then the dude runs past, and then Jack runs past, but the cop's like, freeze! And then, yeah, he's like, I'm what's it called? I'm a federal agent.
Yeah.
And she's like, show me your badge. And he throws his little ID, and she's like, CTU? What the hell is CTU? He's like, counterterrorism unit. And then, what does he say?
There's a line he says,
Yeah.
either shoot me or help me.
Yeah.
He's
Be like,
always got these like.
you need to hurry up because he's not gonna wait around for me. You either shoot me or help me, but decide now. And then she's straight up like, all right, I'll help you. It's like she doesn't even know what CTU is. It could have been a fake badge for all I know, or for all she knows. And then he does another classic line. So they get into a few gunfights, shoot bullets, and he says a few things like, "Don't shoot him," and then pauses, and then goes, "Don't shoot me either." But then there's also, "I wish you hadn't called for backup. You guys play by the rules. I may have to break a few with this guy."
Yeah. Classic Jack.
And then Terry calls Jack back.
Oh my god! This time
this
blowing
is
his
right.
cover, where
Yeah.
his location,
And he's just like, he's like, move! Because his phone's like, it's like, oh my God.
again. Stop calling each other.
Yeah. So yeah, they're still in gunfire. And then, so we're back to Janet. So the boys rock up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Janet's in the middle of the road. He pulls out the gun.
Again, he's got this van. She's in the middle of the road, and he pulls a gun out and sort of holds it on the outside of the van, ready to shoot her.
So he's gonna slowly drive past
just
her,
run her over,
pop her in the head. Like at the moment, she if she died, it'd be like, oh, hit and run. She's dosed up on heroin, and she's, got roofies in her as well. So she's drunk. So I don't know how she managed to even function. And then anyway, so there would have been better off just running her over. But the ambulance comes around the corner.
Yeah.
Saves her.
Saves the day.
Wonder if, I don't know, do you reckon she'll come back?
She has to.
So obviously
I reckon she's going to go in like a coma or something like that, and it's going to be like she's got the information to be able to tell who was the one that kidnapped her and whatnot.
You got to remember though, this is real time. So
true. So it's not like she can be in a coma for.
If she goes into a coma. It's like, I was in a. I mean, she's recovered from heroin within 10 minutes.
True.
So you never know. Anyway, so that was that bit. So that's pretty much the end of that line. Like that storyline.
Yeah, for Kim and Janet.
Yeah, and then we hear from Carl. Carl calls back with the info, and it ends up that he was trying to get to be like, who leaked this information to, I forgot her name, to the reporter. Yeah, Kingsley.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Kingsley. And it ends up being Keith's therapist.
That's right. It's his son's therapist, which adds a layer of credibility to it.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably happened.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Maureen Kingsley, by the way.
Did you write that down, or did you actually know that?
Yeah. David tells Sherry about Maureen Kingsley. Oh, so David's told... This is where David tells his wife, Sherry.
This is the point.
Like what this is. So at first, he slides the door slowly and is like, fuck off. But now he's come clean because she's like, you've been behind a lot of closed doors lately.
That's right.
And he's like, this is what's happened. And then he gives the vibe like he's thinking maybe he's done it. But then Sherry, she's snap out of it, David. He wouldn't do a thing like that.
Yeah.
He deserved it anyway, the rapist. Obviously, she would have. So, yeah. Anyway, then I've got police let Terry and Alan go. And so, okay, we're out to the cop getting captured.
Yes. So they're in the gunfight.
With Jack, yeah.
And she gets grabbed. And this is that bit that you were talking about before where Jack speaks Spanish to tell her to move. And
so when he drops his gun,
which shot gets her?
I still can't tell who shot.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I'm like, did the helicopter just take a shot and hit the police officer? But then at the end, when they're talking, it's I think the dude, we never got his name. So I don't think I think he's unnamed at the moment.
The one at the end that says,
The-
if you want to know where you...
Yeah, if you want to know, like,
Where your
no, he
daughter
says, like, just drops Bauer's name.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you don't want to let me go with them, Bauer. And he's like, what? But, yeah, I think he shot her. So it must have been like a reaction shot.
Right. Because I was surprised as well because he looked pretty cut up about it. He only knew her for a minute. But I think because, she's trying to help him out and...
Yeah, it's like sort of like his fault, he feels.
Shows he's got a bit of a conscience.
Oh, just cut through the ice. That's hard. That's a thick layer, I reckon, with Jack Bauer.
I can't remember what the context is, but it was an earlier scene. We're obviously back at... I think it's when the lockdown gets lifted because Jack's been found.
Yeah. So he's all over the radio.
So the lockdown's been lifted, and the line is what is it? Rules don't apply to Jack Bauer.
Yeah, which they don't. I can tell you that right now.
They love dropping these sort of one-liners.
Free. About that lockdown. So he. What's his called? I forgot his name now again. I keep thinking Gaines, but no. Anyway, that division agent, the one that locked down. Martin? No, not Martin. Mason. George fucking Mason. Anyway, Mason's pressed like Nina, pressed Jamie, tell me where he is, tell me this,
Yeah,
tell me
it's
that.
this big interrogation thing.
Yeah. Fun fact though, by the way, Nina, the actor, like the actor of Nina and the actor of George Mason, married in real life.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That is a fun fact.
I think to this day, still.
Going strong.
And they met on, but pretty sure she was like 20 something.
That's over. Oh, I wonder at what point were they already together before the show?
No, I think because they met on the show.
Ah.
Yeah, but he's like old in like you can tell. Anyway, what I was getting to, the lockdown. Like that's just suddenly it's over.
That's what I thought because I didn't really get what was the point of because originally Jack was there, right?
Yeah.
And then they let him slip very, very easily. And then they're doing all these interrogations to find him. Where is he gone? What's he doing?
Yeah.
And then as soon as he's been like picked up by the cops, they're like, all right, all done here. And
and they're like, all right, pack up. Everything's unlocked. They can go back to doing whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it was
Tony's going to be pissed though, isn't he? He's like, well, they didn't get Jack and they didn't hold the lockdown and we're just back to square one.
I think it was, was it Mason or was it Tony that makes that line about Jack Bauer and the rules?
Yeah, it'd be Mason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jack Bauer has no rules. And yeah, so the episode concludes with this bad guy drops his name, Bauer, and then says, if you ever want to find your daughter again. And then that's the cops give you, he's like, we'll give you 2 minutes or 3 minutes with him.
Yeah.
It was like 10 seconds. And then, and then I've got written at the end, Jack is pissed.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the end of the episode.
You've brought the man's family into it.
Oh, yeah. So now he thinks his daughter's not gone partying. She's been taken.
Yeah, cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. I just want to know how they know about Jack Bauer and how they figured he would be a part of it. Oh, I guess if it's come from CTU.
True. Then they're probably like, you need to make sure you cover this base.
Yeah.
Jack Bauer is going to be coming after you.
Yeah.
So you need to take him out of the
ruthless
scene.
As fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't mess with the man's family.
Yeah, that's right.
He's not going to stop.
Yeah.
So, thoughts on episode 4?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. I thought it was good. Again, a lot. I associate 24, and again, without having watched it, in my mind, it's like a really action-packed sort of TV show. Like lots of shootouts and things like that.
Yeah.
So this episode's certainly one of those. We had plenty of action going on.
Well, yeah, we got another gunfight. So that was good. Yeah. And we got someone hit by a car, which was equally as good. We didn't get... we skipped past the part Gaines meets up with Dan and Rick.
Yeah, so then you know that...
And then I've
got
the line here. Says, you'll be with me now. Be good and you'll be back at the mall in a day or 2.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And she's like, all duct taped up. So, yeah. So now Gaines has got Terry. Oh, not Terry. Sorry, Kim.
Yep.
Yeah. I wonder if Terry and Alan finally see them or something.
Yeah,
Sure,
because
are they going to get in a plane?
we don't see them again, do we?
No.
After
No, they got released from the police officer and they started driving off.
I predict that Jack's going to maybe meet up with Terry in the next episode. Now that Jack knows and Terry knows that Kim's been kidnapped.
Yeah.
It's probably more phone calls, to be honest. They probably won't meet in person.
Yeah, and then what? Well, Jack's now technically on the run, isn't he?
Is he?
Well, they're looking for him. He can't really go back to CTU, can he? Because Tony's going to be like, oh, he's back here.
Yeah, but why are they after him? I don't...
Well, because he was at the murder of Walsh.
Right.
So Tony's like, oh, did everyone see? Tony Walsh died.
Yeah, Jamie had to pretend that she didn't know.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then, and the blood on his arm, I think Tony's like, he was fucking there. He's got something to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah, Tony, that's the only saving grace, I think, for Tony not being in on it, is that he's suspicious of Jack doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So he's just a bit of a shit character, but he...
I wonder if he's going to, they're going to turn him and he's going to be good, or... There's going to have to be a new leader of CTU, which I'm assuming Tony, because Tony's like, Jack needs to go, be relieved of his, is he the leader at the moment?
Well, yeah, again, I don't know if it's like a larger organisation and Jack's ahead of a unit, or if CTU is like this small fringe organisation that Jack's leading, and then we should look into the structure.
We'll probably find out more.
You reckon?
Well, Jack's definitely going to be on the run.
So, in terms of ranking the first 4 episodes that we've seen, I'm going to try and we'll see how my Photoshop skills go. I'm going to try and put some sort of visual that eventually moves around.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know. 3 and 4 were really good. What was 2 again? That was a bit happened in 2.
So do you want me to start with mine?
Yeah.
So I think my favourite so far is 2.
That was when Jack got his first kills, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think 2, then 4, then 3, then 1.
Yeah, that does. I like the sound of that. Yeah, because I liked the last episode we watched definitely more than 3.
Yeah, same.
And I was stoked when Jack got some kills finally. We're second episode in. He's already popped a couple of blokes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like that ranking. That's good.
Very good.
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
So next week we'll try again with the 3 and see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll give it a crack. We might get better.
I don't know how to make it better at not making them all blend into one in my mind and remembering how they actually go chronologically.
Yeah, so I watched 2 last night.
So I watched mine earlier in the week, so I need to probably watch them closer to when we actually record this so that they're fresh.
And I watched them both, all of them twice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I watched them earlier on in the week because I'll probably go. I'm keen to go home now because I just want to watch the next episode.
Yeah.
Because I'm desperately holding back. Nah, don't do it because you'll fuck yourself up. I'll be like, oh yeah, remember this happened? You'll just be sitting there going, no, don't say it. But yeah, so I think I watched it at the start of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I just watched it on my phone in bed while my wife was watching whatever she was watching. And then I sort of thought about it again, and I'm like, fuck, I really need to watch these again.
Yeah.
Because I didn't take notes. And I don't have a fresh memory of it.
Yeah.
I'm shocking when it comes to memory. So I used to,
except for the names.
So obviously, Russ, I used to live with a housemate, and we watched Game of Thrones. And he'd chat about Game of Thrones, and he'd be naming all these characters. And I've watched the same thing with him. We watched it every Monday, and I'd just be sitting there going, yeah. And I got no idea who he's talking about. I'm that shocking when it comes to TV shows.
You're doing right. You're beating me with all the names and whatnot, and even the which episodes, what things happened in. All right, I'm gonna have to do what you did and watch it closer to when we record.
Yeah,
so it's fresh in the mind.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, we'll watch it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week for episode 5, 6, and 7.
And episode 3 of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that's going to get confusing.
some new beverages. Oh, no. Yeah. It would be good if it lined up with ours. But
yeah.
Anyway.
I reckon it'd be too much to do one episode per episode.
What was your sign out before?
I can't keep saying that. It was keep fresh cheese bags.
No, you can't.
I can't say that.
I thought you had your own one.
Nah, I never looked it up. I forgot. See, I got sidetracked.
All right. Then it's just goodbye for this week.
See you next week.